What is going on, guys? I am Samuel and welcome back to Louisiana. In all my videos, I'm usually doing some kind of tricks of some kind on my bike. I'm doing backflips, stuff that's pretty fun to watch. Now, here's the thing. I didn't just develop these skills overnight. Everything you see me do, I've been working on for years, for a long time, and I'm still not that impressive. But every now and then, I run across some of my old footage of when I was really young, trying to do some of the stuff that now I do pretty easily. And it's just kind of fun to go back and see all the progression that I've made. I mean, obviously, I ride BMX and mountain bikes, and one of the biggest things in riding bikes is your progression, how much better you can get over time, because that's how things like that come. You don't just wake up being able to bar spin. You keep throwing a lot of bar spins, and then finally on like try 300, you catch it. And then you get better at it and better at it till you're super consistent, and it's just muscle memory. And that whole process is so cool, and I absolutely love it. I've rounded up a couple of my old clips of me trying flips, me trying bike tricks, and we're gonna see how much better I've gotten since I've been into doing fun stuff like that. So all the clips that we're gonna be checking out today, the older ones are from 2018 and 2019, all before I started my YouTube channel, and all of my new clips are from either last year or this year. So we've got about 6 years between these clips, which isn't a massive amount of time, but I have improved a lot, which is super fun to see. And I was even filming a lot before I even started posting on YouTube. So there's a lot of clips that have never been seen before. So let's start it off with our first clip and see what I was getting up to. I'm on my first dirt jump mountain bike, and I'm riding a little drop in my backyard. It was the biggest drop I had ever hit at the time, and I thought it was a big deal to be able to ride this. So let's see just how small this thing actually was. It was a big pedal in, and then, oh. That is the tiniest little drop, and I sound so stoked on it. It was a terrible landing. It's basically a hill, and you just kind of bunny hop at the top of the hill, and you go down a little bit, and that was the whole thing that I had for a drop. I did not do any tricks on that, but I remember getting the biggest rush riding. It felt so cool, and my drop skills have greatly increased, and also I'm doing them on bigger bikes now. So let's check out the next clip. This one is from Reveille Peak Ranch in Texas. They have some massive drops there. I'm typically in that area every summer to ride mountain bikes, and here I was on my enduro bike riding the biggest of these 4 drops. There's actually a bigger one, but it's a little different. It's not just a normal flat drop, flat at the top and then angles down, and you take off on a downhill takeoff and you land in the landing. It's super cool. I've never ridden it because it's never been in good enough shape when I felt confident enough to do it. Maybe one day we'll check it off, but this clip was awesome. Oh, I did a toboggan. So not only did my drop skills get better, so did my tricks. I can actually do somewhat fun stuff off of jumps now. And the toboggan off that drop was scary. I remember riding that drop for the first time and contemplating if I really wanted to pull a trick. And I think, man, I have the skills to do the toboggan. I need to do it. I'll love it if I get it done. And I did. And I'm actually so stoked on that clip. And the progression is absolutely there. From my first drops off of a hill to that drop, that's really fun to see. Let's see what else I got up to. Oh, this is when I would ride mountain bikes on a 4-foot quarter pipe, and it was so hard to do that I had to do fast plant. The bike was just too big to do a normal air on this really tiny quarter pipe, so I did fast plants. But also look at my foot. My foot is not even at the top of the quarter pipe. I have my foot about halfway up the quarter pipe because I was just too scared to get the bike all the way out. Now, I'm a lot better at fast plants. Oh, this is in Fresno. This is just from this past month when I went to Fresno, and I was riding a skate park there, and they had some super fun transitions. It felt amazing to ride on the BMX, and I had a good friend of mine filming, and he was just getting awesome shots. I said, hey, I need to pull out a downside foot plant. I haven't done one in a long time, but that quarter felt amazing for it, and I did. I had the bike like out of the coping. My foot was at the top of the quarter pipe. That was a proper foot plant. That's how a downside foot plant should look. The bike was flat. My head was like back in the quarter pipe. That was the cool shot. Oh, this is gonna be a flip. Oh, what? Oh, it's not a flip. It's a handspring. I thought a standing handspring was like a big deal. Look at my reaction to it. I was so stoked on that. I was like, wow. Did anyone see that? I just did a handspring. But I progressed a lot since then. In fact, I had a big pressure to learn flips because I was gonna go and do them on my bike earlier this year in Woodward West before it closed. And since I've learned to backflip, I've done them in a lot of cool places. Like this one. This is actually on top of Mount Driscoll, which, fun fact, is the highest point in Louisiana. It's still not even a mountain. It's like 434 feet tall. Let me double check that. Sorry, I was too stingy. It's 535 feet tall, and I did a backflip on the top of it, and that was a pretty cool one. And like I said, the whole reason I learned is to go to Woodward West and do them on my bike. That was such an impressive trick. I felt like I was under a lot of pressure to pull off a backflip because I only had 2 days in Woodward West to be able to do it, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna roll up the ramp and just not be able to commit. But I walked into a tumbling gym like the month before, and I learned to do a standing backflip, and I got really confident at those. And when I got on my bike, everything felt good. I did test flips to the foam pit for a day. I did flips onto a resi ramp on day 2, and that blew my mind. I was so stoked that I landed a flip on a bike. Definitely felt the progression there in a really short amount of time. And speaking of spinning bikes, I remember this next clip. I remember filming it. I remember thinking about doing it. This is my first attempt at a 360 on a dirt jump. Ooh, and this is also when I filmed everything in slow motion. and it did not do me any favors on this. Because look, I was barely getting the 180. Oh, and my foot's off. Oh, and I'm sliding down the hill. That went wrong. That went wrong in so many ways. The form for the 360 was bad. I didn't even bother to tuck the rear wheel up. I just kind of stayed there like a stick trying to spin and hoping I got enough rotation. I didn't know where the rotation came from on a bike. I just pulled and hoped that it would work. Newsflash, it didn't work. Now, a couple years later, I'm way better at spinning bikes. This is actually on my spine in my backyard on a BMX. 360 over a spine. Look at that. I get the rear wheel tucked up. I have a good rotation. It looks way more stylish. That was a proper 360, and I like the slow-mo on that. That was way more fun to watch than the slow-mo of the crash. So just a couple years difference, and look at the things I'm spinning now on a bike. Like over a spine, you gotta be super precise to land. That's fun to see. And not only have I done 360s, I've learned 540s. 540s in my 8-foot quarter pipe. I actually learned this for the first time on my dirt jump mountain bike. I did not think I was gonna be able to pull that. I actually learned that trick in one afternoon. I mean, I probably had it on about the 15th try. It didn't take a super long time. That's a really impressive trick to be able to pull out. It takes a lot of air awareness, and I absolutely love them. They still terrify me now, but way less than they used to, and I'm a lot more consistent on them. Oh, my first no-hander, and look at my arms. My arms just stayed by my side. Like I went off from the handlebars, went here, and then went right back to catch. I was so scared to get them extended. And I remember filming this. It was in the middle of the summer. It was a hot day. And I went outside with the expectation that I was going to do a no-hander that day. And I probably did run up to that jump for an hour before I was confident enough to get my hands off. I was so scared to do it. And then when I did, like, it actually worked. The bike didn't just fall away from me. And then I kind of forgot about the trick until a few years later. And I actually went and learned them. And now it is one of my most consistent tricks on a mountain bike. If I just show up and have to trick something, odds are I'm going to do a no-hander. So I've done them in some pretty sketchy spots. Like this clip right here. This is a mini kicker on a street spot, over a stair gap, on a step down. That's a lot to take in. And look at that. I got an actually extended no-hander on a pretty small amount of hang time. That is a cool clip. That is from urban street riding on my mountain bike. That was a fun video to film. Oh, this video is on my very first ever BMX bike. I actually snapped this frame twice, had it welded back together, and I was so terrible at riding BMX. First off, I've got a full face helmet on for rolling around on the grass. There's a lot of things going on with this clip. And look at what I try to do. I do a pull-up bar spin, and then I go into a foot whip, and this clip hurts me to watch. It's so terrible. My feet spend more time on the ground than I do with the bike under me, and I still can't do a good foot whip. Like, even with my feet on the ground, I still wasn't able to bounce. It just didn't work. And now bar spins and foot whips are tricks that I can pull out just about any time I want. Actually, I take that back. Foot whips take a couple tries. Usually that's a 5 or 6 try trick for me, but I can do them, and I do them properly with no feet on the ground. So this is on a dam on a water. These are some fun clips. I did a bar spin on it. Also, my bar spin style is getting a lot better. They're so consistent now. And I did a foot whip at this spot. So like I said, my foot whips aren't as great as they could be, but I can actually do them whenever I want now. And look how much better it was just in a couple years. I didn't have any feet on the ground. I wasn't falling all over the place trying to kick the bike around. I was able to stay on the front wheel, stay locked into my balance point, and kick that toe whip. I actually love foot whips. They look really cool. I'm very glad I spent the time to learn that trick. It needed to be done, especially just for the redemption from 2019. That was too painful to watch. We don't need to repeat that. Ooh, I'm going 10 miles an hour. Oh, did I get my feet off? Oh, I did a little no-footer. Wait, let's freeze frame that. Ah, look, my feet are just, ooh. That's such a weird no-footer too. And I landed sideways on that. Okay, I remember having my GoPro on for this. And I was thinking it's gonna be so cool to have the GPS data showing how fast I'm going, how many G-forces I pulled. It'll be so impressive. And now looking back, like 10 miles an hour on this little tiny dirt jump, I pulled 1 G on the landing. I don't even know how accurate that is. That's not something to brag about, Samuel. And I got my little feet off. So let's go look at a clip. I don't know what this clip is. Oh, this is a knack-knack. See, now I can actually get my feet off the bike and make it look cool. This is a properly extended knack-knack. I got my foot all the way behind that wheel. And I can ride jets pretty fast. This is in Spider Mountain, Texas. Oh, with a no-hander too. So, like I said, no-handers are consistent. And I can do them going on really fast jumps. I was a little nervous about doing a no-hander on this jump because you go so fast for it. But I tried it out this past summer and it worked great. Speed on the jumps is not a big deal anymore. And 10 miles an hour is definitely not a big deal anymore. And that's my last clip. That was a little painful to watch the old clips, but super fun to see the progression. That is actually impressive. In like 6 years, I've gotten a lot better at riding a bike. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun going back and seeing how much my progression has happened in a pretty short amount of time. It's something you don't really think about in the moment, but everything just kind of falls into place and you get better at doing stuff. And then one day you stop and think about it and you're like, wow, it has not been that long before I was able to actually get a lot of these skills. So if anything, just go and ride your bike, put some more hours in, fun things will happen. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your grandmother, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.